When I was 7 years old, a man asked me to look inside his trunk. But the strange part is, my mom had been accidentally training me for that moment for years. When I was about 4 or 5 years old, I used to go grocery shopping with my grandmother all the time. She would take me with her to a small local store, the kind where the aisles were narrow and the shelves were packed tight with canned food and boxes. Usually, she would wander toward the back of the store, looking at things while I stood nearby waiting. That's when it would happen. Out of nowhere, a hand would suddenly clamp over my mouth from behind. Before I could react, I'd feel myself being pulled backwards down the aisle. I remember the feeling very clearly even now. My heart would start pounding, and my whole body would lock up with fear. I'd try to scream, but the hand over my mouth stopped any sound from coming out. For those few seconds, I thought someone was actually taking me. Then the hand would disappear. I'd turn around, and there was my mom, standing there, laughing. She thought it was the funniest thing in the world. But to me, it felt real every single time. I was terrified and angry. That happened more than once when I was little, and each time that same feeling would hit me instantly. Panic, dread, the sense that something was very wrong. Eventually it stopped, and like most childhood things, the memory slowly faded. Until a few years later. By then I was about 7 years old. My family attended a very small church. There were probably only 20 or 30 people total, so everyone knew each other. During the summer, we had a tradition on Sunday nights after service. Everyone would gather outside behind the church for softball games. The adults played, the kids ran around the field, and afterward, someone would bring out homemade ice cream. It was one of those simple things that felt completely safe. There was a couple who went to the church who always seemed a little unusual. Not dangerous, just a little strange in the way some people are. The woman had a brother who would show up from time to time during these church gatherings. He was even stranger than she was. He kept mostly to himself, but every now and then he would try to talk to the kids. One evening during a softball game, he came over and started talking to me. He told me he had something interesting in his car. Tree spikes, the kind climbers strap onto their legs when they climb tall trees. I had never seen anything like that before. When he asked if I wanted to see them, I got excited and said yes. We walked across the parking lot toward his car. At first, I didn't think much about it. I was just excited to see the tree-climbing spikes he had been talking about. But the farther we walked, the more I noticed how far away we were getting from everyone else. The softball field and the church building were behind us now, maybe 75 yards away. I could still see people moving around in the distance, but their voices had faded. The cheering and laughing from the game had turned into a dull murmur. And I remember looking back toward the field for a moment. My mom, even though she liked to scare me with those jokes when I was younger, usually kept a pretty close eye on where I was. But as I was walking to the car, I realized something. No one seemed to notice I was gone. No one was calling my name. No one was looking in our direction. The softball game was still going. People were still talking and laughing. But from where I was standing, it suddenly felt like I was completely by myself. Out by the cars, it got quiet. He stopped at the back of his car and lifted the trunk open. Then he stepped slightly to the side. From where I was standing, I couldn't see inside. He told me the spikes were in there and that I needed to come closer if I wanted to see them. I was standing about 5 feet away from him and started to move when I suddenly felt something shift inside me. It was the exact same feeling I used to get when I was little, and that hand would suddenly cover my mouth in the grocery store. That rush of panic. My stomach tightened, and my heart started beating faster. He motioned again toward the trunk, telling me to come closer, but my feet wouldn't move. I just stood there frozen, staring at the open trunk and then back at him. It felt like an hour, but in reality it was more like 10 to 15 seconds. Something in my head was setting off alarms I didn't fully understand yet. Every instinct I had was telling me the same thing. Something wasn't right. He told me again that I had to come closer if I wanted to see them. "Come on," he said. "Take a look." That was the moment I started slowly stepping backwards, almost as if I was waiting for him to grab me. Then I turned and ran. I ran straight back toward the softball field, back toward the noise and the people and the lights. And I didn't stop until I was close enough to hear the crowd again. Nothing happened after that. He never chased me, and I don't remember ever telling anyone about it. At the time, I just went back to playing like nothing had happened, but stayed close to my mom. That feeling has stayed with me all these years. This was the late 1970s. Back then, kids weren't really taught about stranger danger the way they are today. No one told us that if something felt wrong, we should tell an adult. So I kept it to myself. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe he really did have tree climbing spikes in his trunk. But even now, decades later, I still remember that moment standing by that open car, and the feeling that something about it wasn't right. I never found out what was actually in that trunk, and I'm still glad I didn't.